property and pick out a room and a weekend or a week and come by?
Sure. If they want to come for a stay with us, basically they would just call 561-627-2000, and that's our reservations line. Or they could look at our website on pgaresort.com, and it really outlines all of our packages, all our spa treatments, and everything you'd want to know about PGA Resort.
Well, I still want to know more, so I'm going to come out to Media Day for the Honda. I believe it's a week from this Monday, and find out a little bit more about this year's event. And I always enjoy going over there, and hopefully I'll see you there then.
That would be great, and I'll look forward to it. And for all the local Palm Beach Gardens folks that want to come out and celebrate our big break with us, they can come to the Green Carpet event on Monday night. That's February 2nd. The party starts at 8 p.m. on our master's patio, and it's open to the public. So anybody that would like to come, they just go on eventbrite.com and RSVP for the Big Break season premiere party, and they can come watch the first episode with us right on the big screen out overlooking the golf course that the actual filming took place on. So I can't think of a better way to watch the show with everybody from PGA that's all excited about it.
Hey, I've been to parties that you guys throw. They're always wonderful, so I highly recommend it. And I'll be talking to you real soon. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, and I encourage everybody to go check out the party as well as the Honda Classic and book your stay at the PGA National Resort and Spa. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you so much for having me.
All righty. What we're going to do is we're going to take another break, and then we're going to talk about another incredible resort facility and golf course that's hosting great events.
Loaded this show.
I know. It's one of those nights, but you won't want to miss it, so stay tuned for more of the Golf and Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Cinderella story, out of nowhere, a former greenskeeper now about to become the Masters champion.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole!
I rap fly. Call me chocolate thunder, and I got good too, going 4 strokes under. Get out the way if you wanna go play, cause I give it my all every single day.
Have a lot of cash cause I sink my putts. Stacks and stacks cause I'm making the cuts. You can't fathom my skills, I'm unreal. Drop you, but you don't know how I feel. Boom. Man, I hit that so
and we are back, and it's time for a message from one of our sponsors that I happen to endorse wholeheartedly, and not just because he's sitting next to me, but that would be, of course, the Jess Frank Golf Academy, which is the home of the Playing Lesson, and my co-host, Jess Frank, who for 15 years has been improving golfers' ball striking, consistency, and distance. He's a PGA teaching professional and the owner of the Jess Frank Golf Academy, located in Boca Raton at the beautiful Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club. So if you're a seasoned golfer who's trying to break 80 or a beginner, Jess's passion is to help you play better golf and have a lot of fun while you do it. Each lesson includes on-course time with V1 video analysis, focusing on improving all facets of your game. For a limited time, new students who mention the Golf and Travel Show will receive a $50 Edwin Watts gift card with the purchase of a series of lessons. To learn more about the services of the Jess Frank Golf Academy, call 561-213-8579. That's 561-213-8579, or visit JessFrankGolf.com. Also check out Jess's videos on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we are back. And as we said before, we're just talking today about golf courses and resorts that have an illustrious history and continue to have incredible events at the highest level and caliber of golf. And This is no different, and this is a golf course we're going to talk about now that's not only a tremendous challenge, but I've taken a look at some of the pictures, and the views are
gorgeous.
Just incredible.
Yeah,
So more of a neck of the woods that you're more familiar with than me. One of these days I'm going to get out there. But to find out a little bit more about Destination Kohler, which of course includes Whistling Straits, the home of this year's PGA Championship, as well as Black Wolf Run, and we're going to be talking to the director of golf there, and that would be Dirk Willis. Dirk, are you with us?
I am. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. And, you know, as I just said, I have never been even into your state before. So, here we are in Florida where it's just completely different. We were just talking to the folks at PGA National, and great layout, but nothing at all that compares to the kinds of looks that your golf courses have.
That is true. Obviously, we're in the middle of winter right now, so it's not
you would trade right now.
But quite a bit of a change from Florida. No flat ground out here. I mean, we got tons of elevation change. We're sitting right on Lake Michigan, so it's not the ocean, but it is pretty spectacular. And we've got 4 fantastic courses, all that are offer quite a variety of different types of challenges.
Why don't you just then give us a very, very brief background on what Destination Kohler is, kind of how it started and what it's really all about?
Well, Destination Kohler really came to be in the early 1980s. We are owned by the Kohler Company, the plumbing manufacturing company, a world-renowned plumbing manufacturing company. And in the early 1980s, Mr. Kohler converted an old workers' dormitory into what is now the American Club Hotel, and that is a historic hotel, a 5-star, 5-diamond hotel. And once he did that, he started taking his guests out to area golf courses and realized, I need my own golf courses myself. And at that point, he really was not that involved in the game of golf. He played a little bit, but didn't know that much about the game. But in the mid-'80s, decided to develop the golf courses that are now Black Wolf Run. And those courses opened in 1988, were designed by world-renowned designer Pete Dye. And then subsequently, Pete Dye also built Whistling Straits, the 2 courses here, in 1998 and 2000.
Now,
that's really how it came to be.
It's obviously a very short season for golf, so I can only assume that it's a huge expense to build golf courses and so many of them of this magnitude for such a short season.
Well, the cost of them is to build them is quite a bit. Yes, our season really ramps up in early May and kind of winds down the middle of October. So it is roughly 5.5 to 6.5 months of what we consider our high season. We do have a little bit of fringe on the side of it, but yeah, basically to build golf courses of this magnitude and for them to be profitable and successful, you really need to have a lot of play during that very short window of time.
Yeah, and what I love about the golf course, I'm from Chicago originally, and my brother went to school at Stevens Point, so I'm familiar a little bit with Wisconsin.
So you're very familiar with it.
Yeah, exactly. And the freezing cold, I'm sorry that you're going through that right now, but you're always welcome down here.
I'm still in mourning.
Yeah. But what I find fascinating about Whistling Straits is that it's almost like you're going to Ireland, but you're in Wisconsin. And the amazing views and right on Lake Michigan, it's pretty amazing. So you talk about a little about that?
Yeah, when that's one of the things that our resort really offers the customer that no other resort really does. We have 72 holes of golf, and they're all very diverse experiences. Obviously, at Black Wolf Run, you've got more of what you would consider the normal United States woodland type courses with a lot of elevation change and rivers and streams meandering through them. And then you come over to Whistling Straits, and it's like you said, it's like you're plopped right in the middle of Ireland. And then that was really the intention when Mr. Kohler and Pete Dye decided to develop the property. Mr. Kohler's obviously very well traveled, and he's become a golf fanatic, and his favorite golf is really the British and Irish links golf experienced in overseas, and he basically asked Pete, build Ballybunion for me.
Oh, yes.
and which is quite an undertaking when he showed him the piece of property, because the piece of the property that he showed him here in Wisconsin was a former military airstrip, and it was flat as a pancake. So basically he went from that piece of land that was flat as a board to basically a 2-mile stretch along Lake Michigan that has about 100 foot in elevation change now from the lakeshore up to the top of the highest dune. So it's quite a spectacular thing to behold, to be perfectly honest, if you'd seen the property before they started.
It's crazy. You know, I was just thinking that many of us get bitten by the golf bug, and we go and we buy a new driver, maybe a new set of clubs, maybe even join a country club. And look what Mr. Kohler did.
He just built himself his own. That's all right. Hey, it's all good. Well, when you're successful like that, and you have the funds and you have the passion for the game,
and your toys just get bigger.
You know, why not, right? And you get great people running your facility.
But what's
like
so
Dirk,
nice
you know,
is
why not?
He shares it with everybody.
Yes.
Anybody who wants to come visit, they can come and partake. Now, can you explain a little bit about some of the past history, some of the really cool events that you've hosted in the past before we start talking about the future?
Well, when Mr. Kohler does something like this, you know, everything that the Kohler company does, whether it's a plumbing fixture, or whether it's a hotel or a golf course, you know, it's all centered around our core company beliefs, and that's, you know, creating a gracious environment and gracious experience for any customer. And so he's going to do it over the top. He's going to do it the best he possibly can. So once the golf courses were built, you know, the next thing was, you know, we've got to promote these, and we've got to make the experience to the point where, you know, it is the best in the business. And so that's how major championships came to be in Kohler Golf. We started in the mid-'90s working with the USGA to try to get the Women's Open here, the Women's U.S. Open at Blackwell Front. We did that in 1998. You know, a lot of work went into that. We had a couple smaller events prior to that, the Anderson Consulting World Championships of Golf, which is now part of the Accenture Match Play Championship on the PGA Tour. We did that at Blackwell Front a couple years. And all those things kind of led up to a long-term relationship with the PGA of America, hosting the PGA Championship in 2004, as well as 2010, and then again here in 2015. And along the way, we did other events with the USGA, the U.S. Senior Open at Whistling Straits in 2007, as well as the 2012 Women's Open again at Blackwell Front. So it's been a long history of major championship golf, and that continues to be one of our strategic objectives going forward, is to continue to partner with the USGA and the PGA of America on potential future events as well.
Hey, just to find something that those two organizations agree upon is not so simple, right?
That is correct. Not many facilities are similar to ours in that they have a relationship with both of those governing bodies of the golf world. It's typically one or the other, but we're very fortunate enough to have very good relationships with both of those organizations.
Great golf courses and wonderful diplomats as well. So, now, why don't you explain a little bit more about the rest of what's going on at the resort, so that we could kind of explain the whole package, whether it's people who come during the winter or non-golfing spouses, for instance. What else goes on?
Well, it's not just golf. Obviously, we have incredible world-class golf, but we are a full-service resort. We obviously have the hotel at the American Club, a 5-star, 5-diamond hotel, as well as a little bit more moderately priced hotel, the Inhamwood Lake. But we also have a 5-star spa as well, a Forbes-rated 5-star spa in the Kohler Water Spa. So, again, if you have a spouse or if you're part of a group that isn't necessarily that interested in playing golf a lot, the spa is there for you, as well as our athletic club and racket club as well, with indoor and outdoor tennis, as well as tennis instruction. We do also host a number of USTA sanctioned tennis tournaments throughout the year as well. And then we also have our private membership clubs, Riverbend, which has a golf component to that club as well as private spa services, and what we call River Wildlife, which is basically I would call an outdoor hunt club, fish club, as well as some other activities for the outdoors types.
And I bet if you are hungry or thirsty that there are some options as well.
Absolutely. We have 9 restaurants on property that range from your high-end four-star restaurants like the Immigrant Room to what we call our pub-style restaurants like the Horse and Plow and the Irish Pub here at Whistling Straits. But there's plenty to keep you active and plenty to drink and eat and keep you active throughout your entire stay.
Now that we've piqued everybody's interest and curiosity, if they want to find out a little bit more, they want to book a package, they want to come out and play some golf, how would the best way to approach that be?
Well, you can go to our website, AmericanClubResort.com, and there'll be a full listing of all of the offerings and on that website, as well as a full array of each of our businesses, the golf courses, the spa, and then our central reservations line to book packages and golf is 855-444-2838.
And if any of our listeners do go, don't tell me about it because I don't want to know. I will be too jealous. I'm already upset that I haven't been there. But I do want to thank you, Dirk, for filling us in. It sounds wonderful, and I know that it's going to be a wonderful PGA Championship this year because you guys are hosting it, and I've seen the pictures of this golf course, and it's just awesome. So congratulations to you and your staff, and we'll be watching on TV.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, take care. What we're going to do is take our final break, and we will be back with more of the Golf and Travel Show, so please stay tuned. And we are back, and this is the segment that everybody calls in about, everybody writes about. They want to hear Dan's deals.
Dan's deals.
Here we go. I know.
You're a great researcher. You dig and you find and you just, turn over these amazing deals.
Unlike our guest, I guess it was last week, who, you can live a year on $10 or something. It's not quite the way I roll, but I enjoy the good life, and I want to stay at the best places and eat the best food and drink the best drinks. I just don't want to pay the price they're asking. I want a deal.
Why not?
So
you deserve a deal.
I deserve it, and anyone who listens,
listeners deserve a deal.
Exactly. Yep. So here's what we got. We've been talking a little bit about this. I actually was talking to my daughter about this. She's planning in the fall to head out to San Francisco and going to be out there for several days. And I said, while you're out there, you need to do a few other things. And she had said that they're going to go to Santa Cruz and they're going to go to Berkeley. And I said, well, what about Napa and Sonoma? Mm-hmm. You should at least go for a day or two. She does like to have a glass of wine occasionally.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I found some deals going on in Sonoma. And what they're doing is they've got some special things happening there. And the one thing that caught my eye more than anything, and we've been telling people about these events as they happen around the country, typically off-peak season, and they have a restaurant week. And what that does is it gives you an opportunity to go to wonderful restaurants and pay typically close to half price, maybe a couple of dollars more than half price to eat at these places. And they do it for lunch, they do it for dinner, and there's always a whole bunch of them. And in Sonoma County, their restaurant week is going to be March 9th to the 15th. And over 100 restaurants are going to be offering dinners, $19, $29, or $39. And if you've ever been to that part of the country, you know that that's inexpensive because these are
really a good deal.
You've got some of the best restaurants in the country out in that region, and lunches are only $10, $15, or $20. And again, it depends on how fancy the place is and how expensive it normally might be. And you could go to SonomaCounty.com and you can get more information about that event and some other things that are going on. And obviously, there's plenty of wineries and breweries and distilleries, and you can taste to your heart's content if you go out there. And speaking of that region, the lodging is not easy to find either. It can be very expensive, but they do have some good deals and events going on if you want to stay in a place called Yountville, which I believe is more of the Napa area or close to the Napa, which is the same region. And it's a great place to stay, and it's a great place to be because they also have some special events going on, too. And this is around the same time. On March 21st, they've got the Taste of Yountville. They've got all sorts of food tastings going on. They got music as well. They've got a concert by OAR, which I believe is Of a Revolution, if I'm not mistaken. Not my cup of tea, but a lot of people do like them. And they're currently on tour with their 8th album, so somebody's been paying to hear their music. But there's a whole weekend of events going on from that Thursday through Sunday, including on Sunday a gospel brunch and food and wine tastings on Saturday, and music and food and wine on Friday. And it's just a wonderful place to be right there in the Napa area. And go to Yountville, YOUNTVILLE.com, and you can find out all about some really good lodging deals as well as passes. They've got several day passes as well as one-day passes, and you could do worse. And
why not? Music, wine, food, why not?
Exactly.
There you go.
Now, we also like to promote music festivals because people like to do that too, and it's always great to be in a town where you know that there's other things to do, special things that are happening. And here's one that's happening not too far away from here, and that would be the Suncoast Blues Festival, which is April 24th and 25th in Sarasota.
Nice.
Have you been to Sarasota?
I have.
I like Sarasota.
Sarasota's very nice.
It's
Blues Festival in Sarasota. Why not?
I was out there when the Ritz-Carlton opened up their golf course. I believe Tom Fazio was there. He designed it. I got to see him. I had interviewed him many years before. But they've got some wonderful restaurants out there, beautiful beaches, some of the best beaches in the world. And they rate them every year, and it always is up there in the top. But this is an event that has got some wonderful blues musicians, and I would recommend going to it. Again, April 24th and 25th. SuncoastBlues.com is the website where you can find out all about the lineup and get your tickets. And Sarasota, great place. Come on down, especially if you're up north. I highly recommend it. Now, oftentimes I do find some deals. It's one of my favorite websites for some really cool deals. And that, of course, is my friends over at Travel Zoo. TravelZoo.com. So hopefully you're all you've saved that already, so you don't need me, and you can find out all the dozens of other deals.
That's a great site, though.
But it truly is, and something that I've been dying to do for a long time. Ways back, we had several guests from the different cruise companies that offer European river cruises.
There you go.
And they're very, very cool in that typically the rooms are a little bit larger than you get on the ocean cruise lines. Usually most, if not all of them, have some sort of a balcony, some bigger than others. And what's cool about these river cruises is they go right into the heart of the cities and they dock right there. So you don't waste a lot of time like you do on the ocean cruises, where you may go to a dock and then you got to get on a bus and drive for an hour or two to get to the city that you want to take a look at. Here you're right there. You walk. And many of them include a lot of other things in the package too that typically you'd have to pay for. And here's a deal on river cruises from Viking, and I believe we did have them on the show maybe a year or so ago. And people seem to really like Viking river cruises, and they've got cruises starting at $24.99 per person. And before you say, well, that's not that cheap, you have to understand that these are 6 and 7 night cruises. They include round-trip airfare, even from Miami, Atlanta, Orlando, and Tampa. A lot of times if they do include airfare, it may be just JFK, and then it could be hundreds of dollars more to pick a different city. Also, all your transfers to and from the ship, guided tours in every city, a $500 Visa gift card per cabin, complimentary wine and beer and lunch on the ship, or with lunch and dinner on the ship, free Wi-Fi. You go on a cruise, you pay a fortune just to have Wi-Fi in ocean cruise typically.
Oh, yeah.
All the air and cruise taxes are included, so when you hear all that and you know that you're going to have a beautiful room that has a view,
bonus.
It's a very, very cool way. And of course, Europe can be expensive. The hotels can be expensive, although these days the dollar is pretty strong over there. So it is a good time to go to Europe right now. If you get a good deal to get there, a good deal for the roof over your head.
Absolutely.
And you got plenty of money to spend on all the stuff that you want to go buy over there.
So nice.
So, and speaking of traveling far away lands and getting good deals, here is a deal that's just on airfare. And airfare we've been talking about on and off for the past several months. The price of fuel has been coming down. The price of airfare has not. The airlines have been saying that they need that money. They need to refurbish their fleet. They need to buy new planes. They need to, give raises to their employees. And I'm all for that. I don't want any grouchy employees.
No.
But being that the fuel is inexpensive, I always have been thinking there's going to come a time, there's going to be some price wars. A few airlines are going to throw those salvo out there, throw down the gauntlet, and everybody else is going to have to match it. We get a little war going on. And flying to Asia, very expensive, very far away. I found some deals where you can fly to Bali, Thailand, Cambodia, or Malaysia for $916 round trip. It includes a stopover in Singapore. As a matter of fact, it's mandatory. This is, I guess, one of those Chamber of Commerce kind of deals where they want you to stop there. But it's on Singapore Airlines, which has always been known to be one of the best airlines in the airline industry. Mm-hmm. So you're flying on a great airline. This is from Los Angeles, San Francisco, Houston, or New York, JFK. And this is round trip $916, including all taxes. I mean,
beautiful.
That's very inexpensive to go to Asia, especially on a good airline. So,
there you go.
And you get to spend, an extra city. You got to spend like one night in Singapore. And then you go from Singapore onto these other locations. So, Singapore, from what I understand, haven't been there. Great city, not that big.
Right.
So you spend a day there. You could really get to see some of the cool things that are going on over there. So highly recommended, travelzoo.com, and check that out, flying on Singapore Airlines. And on Travel Zoo, I got one more deal for everybody, and this is a golf deal. So for any of our golfing fans, they're going to like it. I have not stayed here, although I do. One of my franchisees at Labor Finders, he stayed there on several occasions, an avid golfer, and he likes the place. And this is, first of all, I am a fan of Puerto Rico, though, but this is staying at the Grand Malia Golf Resort, which they've got a very, very nice golf course there. It's a 4-star property, so it's not 5 stars, but it's not bad. But the package is a really good deal. $399 per person, including airfare from Fort Lauderdale. And that is for 3 nights in a junior suite, which is always nice to have a suite. A 20% discount on all food and beverages and spa treatments. All taxes and other mandatory fees, and I did check it out. It's not every single day, but there's plenty of availability. I just punched in, I think it was Memorial Day weekend, holiday weekend,
nice.
$399 per person.
Perfect.
So, if you're looking for a really nice golf resort in a place that I think is very cool, I like Puerto Rico, I like the people, I like the food. It's a cool place to go. You do not need a passport. Other places in the Caribbean, you have to have a passport, but this is U.S., so no passport required. It's just really easy. It's a short flight, and I recommend it. And that's what I got for the deals. Now, we have another minute or two, I think, and we said that if we have another minute or two, we were going to talk about some of the immutable laws of golf.
Absolutely. It's just one of those things. It always happens.
It does. It does.
You can't then one of the things, you can't tempt the golfing gods out there.
Okay, so what's one of the immutable laws that the golfing gods will get back at you for?
Well, when you say you have the game, you found it. And that's the worst thing you could ever say. Oh, I found the secret to the game. And you're hitting it great for maybe a day or two, and then all of a sudden you're like, what happened? Same guy, different results. So don't ever say you found it.
All right, and I'm going to pick out one of these. Here's one, law number 4. It's golf balls never bounce off trees back into play. If one does, the tree is breaking a law of the universe and should be cut down.
Well, that's nice. I like law number 5, actually. It plays right into the Just Frank Golf Academy.
Okay.
The higher a golfer's handicap, the more qualified he deems himself as an instructor. So, you get all the spouses and the friends who are 20 handicaps trying to give everybody advice, and it's not good.
Okay, and here's another one that's kind of up your alley, law number 9. The last 3 holes of a round will automatically adjust your score to what it really should be. I think
true.
We've all experienced that.
It's amazing how you go into that comfort zone. You could be playing a great round. You normally shoot 85. You could be probably breaking 80, and the next thing you know, you're shooting 85. So.
And here's another one, which is good for your business, law number 19. It says that you can hit a 2-acre fairway 10% of the time and a 2-inch branch 90% of the time.
Yeah, that's so true. Oh, my goodness. That's so true.
And how about law number 23? A ball that you can see in the rough from 50 yards away is not yours.
I love it.
This stuff is great. Here, law 24, don't buy a putter until you've had a chance to throw it.
Yeah, that's, you know what? That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. I mean, that's what, and I like the one that the more expensive the golf ball is, the more magnetic it is into the lake.
There you go.
That's how it always works. That $5 Pro V1 just right into the lake out of the box.
All right. Well, we're just about out of time, so I wanted to remind everybody to tune in next week. Next week, I'm going to be actually in Las Vegas at McCarran Airport calling in, so I'll give you an update on that trip. I'll be staying at the Wynn, so it's quite a nice property, and of course, I'll give you all the details. I wanted to, of course, thank as well our guest, Karen Cantor, the marketing and PR manager for PGA National Resort, home of the Honda Classic and the Big Break, as well as Dirk Willis, the director of Golf Destination Kohler, Whistling Straits, home of this year's PGA Championship, and Black Wolf Run, and of course my co-host, Jess Frank, from the Jess Frank Golf Academy, who you can always reach at 561-213-8579, or you can visit jessfrankgolf.com and like us on Facebook at The Golf and Travel Show. We'll